Good morning, friends, and welcome to class today. Let's start with a prayer together. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, great masters, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Layadima Ashaya, Swami Shri Yukteswarji, beloved Gurudev, Paramahansa Yogananda ji, saints of all religions, we bow at thy feet. We offer our lives to thee. Help us to be ever more attuned in body, in mind, in spirit. We are thine. Bless our class today with thy presence. Om Shanti, Shanti. Welcome again. Let's first hear a song by Swami Kriyanandaji and then a talk by him on proper diet.
Lightly I fly when I live in laughter. Lightly I fly when my heart sings. Lightly I fly when I live in laughter. Lightly I fly when my heart sings. Fling to the ground every heavy burden. Now I can soar up above the clouds. Fling to the ground every heavy burden. Now I can soar up above the clouds. Lightly I fly when I live in laughter. Lightly I fly when my heart sings. Lightly I fly when I live in laughter. Lightly I fly when my heart sings. Lightly I fly when I live in laughter. Lightly I fly when my heart sings. Fling to the ground every heavy burden. Now I can soar up above the clouds. Fling to the ground every heavy burden. Now I can soar up above the clouds. Lightly I fly when I live in laughter. Lightly I fly when my heart sings.
If you eat meat, as I just read, lamb, chicken, a little fish, well, Bengalis practically think of fish as a vegetarian diet. But the truth is that if you can, without making a big fuss of it, eat right. He didn't even like the word vegetarian. He said it smacks of isms. But he said if we have to do it, I think of proper Etarianism, not vegetarianism with all the vegans and all the various ramifications of it. Just eat properly. The thing is, you aren't your diet. You're much more than that. Don't make that an ism of yours, because people who do, they put so much energy into little things that they can't or don't have any left to spare to put them into the more important things. This, however, is very interesting, this story, where Dr. Lewis was getting these aches and pains, and he said it's because your body has grown accustomed to it. So you have also to think in terms of custom and habit and what your body cells have been used to. Fortunately, when I came to him, I was only 22, And I made quite a switch. I read the autobiography of a yogi. Immediately I gave up gave up meat. That same day, some friends of my parents invited me to lunch. They served chicken a la king. Well, I didn't want to insult them by refusing their lunch, but I put the chicken aside and ate it that way. But I made a complete turnaround. But fortunately, I was young enough that it didn't affect me. Nonetheless, he said, if you want to purify yourself, purify your heart. That's more important than having a pure body. I have seen many people who make such a thing of eating pure foods that they don't meditate, they don't have time to love their neighbor, they're just being fanatics. One time, one of these people visited our community at Ananda village, and she was a fanatic, sort of, and so, sort of jokingly to impress her, I told her about the breakfasts that I have. I used to make a fruit shake with nuts and different kinds of fruits and so on. And sure enough, she said, "That's why you're sick all the time," which I wasn't at all. You can't get around these people. They've always got some axe to grind. Don't fall into that trap. It's much better to eat meat and love God than not to eat meat and forget about everything else.
Good morning again, everyone. Today's topic is a really wonderful one. It's a long topic. I mean, it's extensive, but I'll cover as much as I can today. It's Yogananda's teachings on spiritual qualities of foods, diets, and fasting. And I'll start with the reading from The New Path by Swami Kriyanandaji, very brief about the grape cure. Norman, one of the monks, had talked me into joining him in what is known to health faddists as the grape cure, a diet of only grapes and grape juice. A few weeks of this cure would, Norman assured me, purify my body and help me to make rapid progress in the spiritual life. Master saw us that Monday morning. "Devotion is the greatest purifier," he remarked smilingly. "Is it your wish then, sir, that we break this fast?" I asked him. "Well, I don't want to break your will now that you have said it in this way, but your time would be better spent in working to develop devotion. A pure heart is the way to God, not a pure stomach." And Master said this: "To have faith in God's healing power through the mind and obey dietary laws is better than just to have faith in God and mind and disregard dietary laws." So you can see, Master taught that we need to put our energy into God, into God consciousness, into meditation, into our spiritual life. But having said that, he also had many diets that he recommended to people. He had fasts that he recommended to people. He had a daily diet foods that he recommended to people. And I would like to go over those with you today. And those particular ways of eating and diets and fasts, they help to cleanse the body, purify the mind, purify the stomach as well. They help your consciousness to rise. They help you to meditate. They help you to have clear thoughts. They help you to have deeper experiences of God and God consciousness. They do help. So we need to be in balance. We don't want to be fanatical and say, "No, I can't have a piece of chocolate. I can't have a piece of cake. I can't have anything. I can't have anything. I just have to have these boring foods." But on the other hand, we have to watch what we eat. I know some people, just be careful, be observant, be conscious of your diet, not to just take in anything. Just like our mental diet, we don't take in anything, any music, any books, any news. We watch our environment, who we're around, the thoughts of people, our own thoughts. All of these things are important. And so, yes, what we take into our body is also important, but we don't want to be fanatical. So Master called it, our Swami Sri Teswarji, I believe, called it proper Eatarianism. But I saw Swamiji, he enjoyed foods. In fact, he said to Master when he came, soon after he came, he said, please, Master, bless me that I get rid of this desire to enjoy good foods. And Master said, when ecstasy comes, everything goes. Don't worry about those little things. And he got Swamiji, he did counsel him into, you need more devotion. But I saw Swamiji, he was balanced. I think he was balanced in his eating habits. He had good foods, but he didn't, he had some sweets. Near the end of his life, he had diabetes, so he couldn't have a lot of sweets. But I hope I have time to tell you this story about Preeti Azar in the questions and answers. Please remind me, Nitendra, I can't tell it now, but he would enjoy having a piece of cake or a little taste. And I think he was also showing us, training us that yes, have a little, but don't go overboard. I think the problem is people are overboard. And my philosophy about sweets is this, and it's not my philosophy, it's what I think should probably, and sometimes this was how people had sweets, they had a little bit. Now you see people with a big piece of pie, a big piece of cake, 5 gulab jamuns, or whatever, ras malai, and they're just eating, and it's too much for the body. The body can't take it. And so, but I also saw Swamiji, he would have coffee, but he wouldn't have it strong. Some people have it strong. Honestly, it's up to your body, your age, your habits, what your body's used to. Swamiji would take tea. What that story about Dr. Lewis was that Master said not to eat meat if possible. So Dr. Lewis cut all the meat off that he was eating. He stopped eating it. And then his body had aches and pains for some time. And he told Master about it. Master said it's because your body was used to having that kind of food. So he said, go away from it, cut it out slowly instead of all at once. And so today also, as we go over these diets and things, just aim directionally to correct your diet. And you'll see there are things that you can do right away, there are things you can't do right away. And we know that in all of nature and also in the foods, there are qualities. They're called gunas. They are the elevating, the activating, and the lowering, or the tamasic level. And so we call them the sattvic, the rajasic, and tamasic. And the foods fit into those categories. And foods that are sattvic are they're like nuts, fruits, raw vegetables, raw fruits. And, we'll go into cooking them in a moment. But basically, fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds are very sattvic, very elevating. Think of a bowl of fruit, of cherries or berries or apples or whatever. It's just very uplifting in your consciousness, and they're light and they don't weigh the body down. And so, and the sattvic foods, if you eat them, they lead to higher consciousness, higher thoughts, elevated thoughts. Not just, that's why we say that they're elevating, because they help your thoughts to rise, your energy to rise. You don't feel weighed down by heavy foods. And so sattvic foods are very, very important to keep in your diet. And as I said, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds are part of the sattvic diet. We'll go into this a little bit more in a moment. Now, rajasic foods aren't necessarily bad or good. They're just rajasic. They are constant. They make you in constant motion. They're energetic. They're movement foods. And these are foods like eggs are one of them. Hold on just a minute. I want to make sure I have them right. I'll just read this list. He says lamb, poultry, fish, whole grains, onions, garlic, we know, eggs, coffee, tobacco, refined sugar, soft drinks, fats, oils, things that are salty, that are bitter, that are sugary, these things are rajasic, and you feel it as soon as you have a cup of strong tea or strong coffee. You feel like, yeah, you got more energy. There's energy flowing, but how long does that last until you have to have the next cup of coffee, next cup of tea? So think about rajasic. I mean, we're living in the cities, most of us, and if you didn't have any of these kinds of foods, you probably wouldn't be able to live well in the rajasic cities that we live in. And so be aware. If you're living up in the Himalayas in a cave, you probably don't need these. But if you're living in Delhi and Gurgaon and around like this, Calcutta and different places, you probably would need them. But rajasic foods they are rajasic, and they pull you out. And I notice when I'm on a fast and I'm not taking those foods, I'm just much more calm, much more centered, much more peaceful. And when I'm taking those, I'm much more, rajasic. That's the word for it. Now, tamasic foods are to be avoided. Now, read this list here. Overcooked foods, alcoholic beverages, their energy just drops down. And I know Swamiji told someone who said socially they needed to drink. He said to them not to identify with that, and that drinking alcohol is tamasic. He says tamasic. You have to know that it lowers your vibration, it lowers your energy, it lowers your magnetism. And you see people, they've been drinking, they don't even know, they don't even know where they are, what they're doing, and that's tamasic. They have no control over themselves. And so I had this idea in my mind: if you're in these social situations, you feel like you have to have something to drink, well, put something else in the glass. Don't have people demand you that you have to drink, but drink something else. Because over and over, if you keep drinking, you may become addicted to it. It certainly is not good for your body. It's not good for your organs. Anyway, take it out of your diet as soon as possible if it's in the diet. Other things that are tamasic: moldy cheeses, deep fried foods. Now, the samosas, pakoras, we all like them, but just have less. The thing is, don't say, no, I can't have it. Just have less and less and less. I tell you, when I became vegetarian years back, I didn't force myself. I just was doing, it was before Ananda. And I started doing yoga postures. It's right just before I started doing the postures. And I just felt so good doing the postures that I just couldn't eat meat anymore. That's when McDonald's hamburgers had started up. And, we were all so happy about McDonald's and then Jack in the Box. And you'd be going to those places having the burger and fries. And then after I started doing yoga, I couldn't have that anymore. I just said, I'm not going to eat that. It just doesn't feel good in my body. And so it took me about a year to get rid of all the meats in my diet. But it stayed because I took the time and I said, this doesn't feel right. I'm not going to have this. This doesn't feel right. I'm not going to have it. So go slowly. The other things that Master said are tamasic, very hot, spicy foods. Hot meaning spicy. Boy, and I sit with people, my friends here, and then it's just, my mouth is just on fire. And I say, isn't that hot for you? No. Well, because you had it so long, it's not hot, but it does give you a reaction. And so, some people are so fiery themselves, and anything happens, they're upset and they're dying. And just watch what you're putting in your body. Foods that are processed, chemicalized, canned foods, fermented foods, all of these are in the tamasic category. Okay, so I'm going to move on because there's so much to cover and there's not a lot of time. So Natendra, I'm going to ask you to put up the qualities of foods chart of Master, and just let's have a look at these. This is really fun. And just think about how many of these foods you actually eat. So cherries, these are qualities. If you eat these foods, they bring out these qualities in yourself. And I would say you need to eat them more regularly. It's not once and then you suddenly have joy. So cherries bring joyfulness, cheerfulness, bananas, humbleness, strawberries, dignity, grapes, love in the heart, fresh eggs and milk, enthusiasm, energy, oranges, banish melancholy, and a brain stimulant, almonds, self-control. You can just look at this list yourself, but avocado, memory, pineapple, self-assurance, beets, courage, maple syrup, fresh mental freshness, corn, mental vitality, tomatoes, strength, mental strength, spinach, simplicity, lettuce, calmness. Very good to have these in your diet as you can. Okay, let's move on. And I like to look at the daily diet that Master recommended now. So let's bring that chart up. Now these will be in the chat so you all can have them, but in the daily diet, now just these are, I think, 18 different foods. As we look at these, think of how many of these you have in your daily diet. And Master said, eat at least some of these foods every day in your diet, distributing over your meals. The ones you don't care for, don't have them. But let's look at them and see if you have these: apple, grapefruit, lemon, lime, orange juice with ground up nuts, ground up almonds, delicious in orange juice. And you'll see later, Master gives that if you're feeling very hungry to have that. Pineapple, dates, prunes, figs, raisins, honey. Okay, have boiled vegetables with the juice, carrot, spinach, lettuce. I counted down these and I eat a lot of these, most of these. Milk, cream, cottage cheese. Okay, let's just go down this list a little bit further, Nitindra, and see when hungry, have this. Orange juice or water, whichever, but with ground up almonds, it's delicious and it really it fills you up. Ice water, don't take it, it freezes the stomach. Then your digestion's bad, you have digestion problems. Nuts, great substitute for meat. And nuts are very filling and almonds are very, very good for you. So I'll let you all study these on your own. Let's go to the next. Oh, the fruits and vegetables. Yeah, great. We went over these. They're laxative. And Master gives them this order: prunes, watermelons, cantaloupes. You can go on and on. But then this other one, I have this every morning. Warm water with lemon in it. And look how good it is. It's good for the liver, spleen, intestines, the kidneys, disinfects the physical organs. The acidity burns up the germs. This is wonderful. If you can't do anything else, do this. It's really, really good for the body. Okay, and then raw foods. Master is saying take as many as you can raw, because as you cook things, the vitamins begin to be, their uncooked foods are better. You destroy a lot of the vitamins with cooking. White sugar, now this is a very important point. It causes fermentation. Now look there, it says white flour acts like a glue and obstructs the expulsion of bodily waste, and that causes constipation. Constipation is the most dangerous of all diseases. That's something to think of. If you're not expelling the toxins from your body, they're just staying in your body. They're affecting your whole being. Now let's go to number 3, part number 3, and this is the last one, where Master's given different fasts and diets. Look at this liquid fast: orange juice or milk. Whenever you don't feel hungry, you can do a day, a couple of days. Oxygen fasting. Now, this is a great one. Now, we don't have time to do this, but he's saying to inhale and exhale deeply 6 to 12 times every hour, filling up the lungs, all the lung cavity. And then do it outside if you can. But this you can add to some of the other diets. If you're on a diet, like on a fast, go outside and do this oxygen fasting as well. Okay, then the 9-day cleanse, fabulous, but you have to be ready for it. It's also a mental diet. A lot of people can't handle it. I've done it many times. All this diet and the next one, vitality. Hold on. This diet is fantastic, but I would say do it in a group, do it with a friend. 9 days is a long time. Most people can't handle it. Do 5 days, do 7 days. 9 days is the best. In your body, at 7 days, it really starts to change. This vitality beverage is excellent. I'm currently on a 3-day orange juice fast with about 9 or 10 other people. And that fast is orange juice for 3 days. You can have ground up almonds if you get hungry, a lot of water, and a laxative, and you just feel fantastic. I mean, your body is detoxified. This is the reason for these diets and fasts, is to detoxify, get the toxins out of the body, and they've been there a long time. And so, and you just think of what you eat all the time. It's just lodged in your body. It's lodged in the different parts of your body and the stomach and all. And if you never cleanse, you'll have health problems, illnesses come up, aches and pains. But if you once a year, just say, I'm going to do something, the orange juice fast or the 9-day diet, we typically do both. Some group of Ananda people, check with your center leader, but these are good if you can handle them. If you're older and can't handle them, fine, do something. Well, I know someone who's been fasting 1 day a week for years. I used to fast 1 day a week for many, many years. You just have to think about what you can handle and just do that. Okay, then we go to the reducing diet, which many people need. And Master gives that this 25 body recharging, do it 6 times, twice a day, and the stomach recharging 20 times each, 3 times a day. That's going to get your stomach off, really. It's going to just burn it right off. And then he gives running 50 to 200 times twice a day. It's fantastic. Try these stout people. He says the fast on orange juice for 7 days and go into the 9-day cleanse. I don't know if I could handle that, but that's if you really, really need it. Okay, now let's go to, that's the reducing diet. Now the last one is the fattening diet. Now, not many people need this diet, but some people do. And look what he focuses on, the banana. Bananas in abundance, bananas, and cream, eggs, oatmeal with cream, olive oil, cream, a glass of cream. And so some people may need this. I certainly don't. I never have, but some people do. And then this other thing, watch out for this. He says, have 2 glasses of water with each meal. Now that just shows you, if you're on the heavy side, don't drink with your meals. And you see everybody drink, eat. It's just not healthy. You just blow up. And so he's giving some wonderful tips here, and I hope they're beneficial to you. They'll be in the chat and you can get them and utilize them as you wish. I'd like to end now with the questions and answers. So I'll have Nitendra come on the screen. And as I say again, I'll say again, I've done these diets, fasts, and I believe in them. They work. You definitely feel lighter, more clear, more uplifted, happier. And the need for food goes off after about, I didn't have it at all on this 3-day diet, but 3-day fast, but on a 9-day diet, maybe it goes off after the first day, but you just feel completely detached from food and eating. And you wonder, how could I have eaten all that I ate all the time? I just ate too much. And so be aware and be conscious of your diet, and you will feel better, you'll meditate better, and you'll be healthier. That's a big part. Okay, so Natendra?
Thank you, Dhyanaji. Let me just share the questions.
Natendra, you've done this diets, haven't you? The 3-day?
The 3-day one I had done once.
Yeah. Okay.
The first question, Dhyanaji, is my whole family eats some type of meat. So how can I get around not eating it?
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, in an Indian diet, there's so many things you eat. I mean, there's dal every day practically. You can eat beans, you can eat nuts, you can eat avocado, paneer. Paneer is there almost every day, isn't it? I mean, there's so many substitutes here. In America, it's meat and potatoes, basically. And vegetarians have a little bit of a harder time, but here in India, I don't think you have a problem.
Thank you, Dhanaji. We have a live question.
Uh-huh.
Is there any cleansing diet for diabetic people?
That I don't know. I'm not a doctor and I don't want to say anything Master didn't say. So, but I would ask your doctor, but get these off the chat and try some of them, try different ones. But if you're older, if you're ill, I would only do these with your doctor's guidance. I wouldn't just go on the 9-day diet, and it's difficult. But I don't know of anything for diabetes specifically.
Thank you, Dhanaji. The next question is, I feel hungry if I do not have enough protein. So what can I eat that's filling as a vegetarian?
Yeah, I feel hungry if I don't have enough protein either. That's why Master gave this ground up nuts in the orange juice if you're feeling hungry. So nuts you can have. Is this a general diet, generally? And a vegetarian diet?
Yes, Dhanaji.
Nuts, avocado fill you up in a minute. Avocado is so good for you. It has so many vitamins. You can Google it and see, but it's excellent and it fills you up. Of course, paneer fills you up. Beans fill you up. Hummus is wonderful. That's beans. It fills you up. Garbanzo beans, eaten just cooked and just have them in the fridge and eat those. I mean, really, there's so many things you can eat. Sprouts are delicious and they don't necessarily fill you up, but they're so good for you. Yeah.
Thank you, Dhanaji. There are 2 more questions.
Okay.
One is, I like some junk food snacks sometimes. So is it bad to eat them from time to time? And how about sugary desserts? I like to have them as well sometimes.
Now, this isn't your own question, is it, Natendra? So why don't you use the 80-20 rule? Dr. Radhika gave us that in one class, and she is a doctor. Just 80% eat well, 20% have some other things that maybe aren't so good. And then later it'll be 10% maybe, I don't know, but you have to have joy in your life. And if, you can't have this, you can't have that, you can't do this, you can't do that. And you see the person's face is all drawn down and they don't have any joy. I just said, but eat something that you like. And, like during COVID time, I think a lot of people, I ate things that I normally didn't eat, but now it's kind of hard to get rid of them, but like a piece of chocolate here and there, but just balance it out with attitude. And there has to be a joyful feeling in the heart. If you're like, I gotta eat a carrot, there's no joy there. So be balanced. It's hard for people, but be balanced. You need the fattening diet? What is that?
No, Dhanaji. The last question is something that I can clearly relate to.
Okay.
Which is, what about exercise when you're on a fast? Because sometimes I feel too tired to exercise. Is it vital to exercise when I am on a fast?
Yeah, that's a reality, but choose your times wisely. So choose the morning, isn't it so? You have more energy, you're fresh, you're happy, the scale's lower, you feel good. And you can get out in the morning. If you wait till evening time, you probably are kind of tired. The other thing is choose what you do well. So yoga postures, taking a walk, maybe instead of a run, instead of going to the gym and lifting weights and being around those people with, barbells and all that, do something that's more sattvic, isn't it? Jump on a trampoline, small one at that, and walk in the park, that sort of thing. So here again, be conscious of the type of exercise that you do. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Then.
Yeah.
Those
You
were
don't
all
want to run a marathon on a day you're fasting. That would be silly. Yeah.
those were all the questions we had.
Okay. All right. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. Bye-bye.